Hello there. Welcome to Monster Hunter World, perhaps one of the greatest games ever created. Today, I'm going to teach you how to charge blade, because I got 20 hours in before I figured it out, so I'm going to try and spare you the trouble. Now, charge blades are pretty good for solo, and they're pretty good in general once you figure out how to use them properly, which took me 20 hours to do, as I mentioned. Now, charge blades, their whole spiel, as it were, is charging up and dealing massive damage once you get all the steps put together. So, step number one is build charge. Now, up in the top left, you have my health, my stamina, the sharpness, and some charge files next to the sword and shield. Now, to generate charge, all you gotta do is hit things with your sword. It's pretty easy. So every strike that lands will generate some amount of charge. See, now they just turned yellow. And then once it's yellow, you can charge up. And if it's yellow, it'll only give you 3. Whereas you can do the charge move, which will give you a lot more. And then you can go up to all 5. And if you want, you can charge all the way up to red. And if you charge up at red, it will give you full, but I'm already at full, so it doesn't do anything. So it's got a little bit of maintenance to it, because if you overcharge, you'll just start deflecting. Yeah, see, now my blade is overcharged, so if I try to hit it, just bounce off. No good, so you gotta cool it off. Now, well, at the beginning, what you think charge files are for is axe mode. Because once you go into axe mode, you get the elemental discharge attacks, which for every one you do consumes a charge file. And then you charge it back up with your sword, and that's all you think there is to it, when in actuality there's a lot more. Basically, let's see, so the simplest way to do this is to go axe mode, and then you use the amped elemental discharge, but instead of completing the move, you cancel it with an elemental round slash, and you do that. And what that does is it takes all your files, and instead of discharging them in the axe strikes, it puts it into your shield. See, now my shield is glowy, I lost all my charges, and my shield in the corner is now charged up. Which means any shield strike moves you do, i.e. that one, if I'd hit it, will also do elemental bonus damage. But it goes one step further than that, because what you can do after that is charge up your sword as well. So once you time that move, both of them are charged up. And this is really good, because then you get extra damage, you get all the good stuff. But then, once all of these first steps are in place, you have your sword and your shield charged up, and you have max charge files, you get what I call the crazy train. Or not the crazy, I don't know what to call it. It's just ridiculous. But basically, if you do triangle, the certain combo, it's actually super easy to do. Or if you go into axe mode and do it, it's the amped elemental thing. If you have both weapons charged and full files, you'll get a pretty crazy this. Which, let's be honest, is a little bit amazing. Now, you can do it without charge files, but it won't be as effective. As you can see there, it's the same move, it just didn't do as much. And the more charge files you have, so let's charge up to yellow real quick. So we only have 3. So we have 3 charge files, and if we do the super amped elemental damage, we only get 3 booms. So if you have, the more of them you have, the more booms you get from that combo. So it's crazy, but this is your goal of achievement as a charge blade user, is the super amped elemental damage. So it's if you time, like, if you're careful with your timing and how you use everything, and keeping up everything charged up, you can get some pretty crazy damage numbers out. And time it with like monster knockdowns and stuns and coordination. It gets, yeah, I like it. I really like Charge Blade. It's definitely my favorite weapon now out of all of them, because mostly I just like the sword and shield part, but then it also has the cool axe on top of it. Then we charge up the shield again, and so on and so forth. Because you can do it straight from max mode, or you can use this combo. And it goes straight back into sword and shield. So basically, that's how I use it. Is I just charge up the sword again, and you get a big element on that. So you do have to be careful with like your angles and your distancing, because once you commit to moves in this game, you're kind of stuck with them. So like, it's always a big letdown when the monster just moves a little bit or something. Or what happens occasionally to me is that like I'll get up too close, and the second swing will go like past them, and that's always annoying. But it's whatever. But yeah, Charge Blade's by far probably one of the better weapons, in my opinion. Just because the exponential damage they're capable of. Because you spend most of the fight wailing, building up your charges, and then once you get the charges up, and they're probably stunned or knocked down by that point, and you get some monster numbers. Oh, I seem to have dropped something. Oh. And a stinger for Slinger Bomb. Boom. Cool, yeah. Yeah, but that's how you Charge Blade. Because it is a little complex. Combos are a little, you gotta practice it for sure. Yeah, I didn't have any files though, so didn't give me any charge. But yeah, that's one thing you can definitely say about Monster Hunter combat, is that there is a learning curve, and it's an actual full-on curve that you have to train and learn, which I really like, because you can definitely tell just from like how they use weapons, a beginner from a novice. Because what I used to do was always just charge up for the axe and then do the elemental strikes, and now I almost never use the axe at all, except for the big move, because like sure it's pretty good, but it's just the defense and the mobility you have when sword and shield is just so much better that it's almost never worth it for me. And we're back up to double charged. So it is a bit tricky, not gonna lie, because you do have to land those hits, and once you get there it's a big commitment, and if you miss it it's kind of bleh. And the cool thing is, the more there's gear, I know, like the high metal coil will give you more charges, more vials and charge blades and weapons and stuff. So you can definitely get some, with the right gear set with charge blades, you can get some pretty redonkulonk combos going. Because I think I was playing with a guy that knew what he was doing, and he had like 12 or something charge things, so he would just poof, like in a huge line from across the wherever we were. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, that's how you Charge Blade. It's easy to use, hard to master, like the very definition of it. Because yeah, like I said, I've been through the whole process at this point. Because every time I thought I knew what I was doing, I really didn't. Like that. I do like that move because it doesn't actually stick you into axe mode for very, like, at all, basically. And so you're always just in shield mode, your sword and shield, so you always have your guard up. It's not the best guard, it's not going to beat the lance or even the gun lance, but it's better than the sword and shield, and it's a heck of a lot better than, like, most anything else. So yeah, that's how you charge blade, I guess. Yeah. Farewell. Actually, not yet. I might do more of these, like do a Monster Hunt or something, because I really like this game and I actually want to make some content on it. Don't know how long it'll last though before I lose my nerve. I'm not cut out to be a YouTuber. I just don't have the time. I wish I had the time, but I kind of don't. So, yeah, that Charge Blade tutorial.